Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode. Where we at? 1444. Happy Tuesday. I'm in much better spirits than yesterday because at this time yesterday, actually, I was just popping out of the dentist chair. It was a fast procedure, which was a pleasant surprise. So yeah, I did not have a show yesterday because I was at the dentist spending money on a crown. Actually, yesterday was only a temporary crown. The cement crown comes in at the end of this month, so that'll be on April 30th. But it's a little later appointment, so I will go. I think it's at 9 a.m. that day. I love the 7 a.m. appointment. I love just waking up groggy because I hate going to the dentist. I just hate being. I say strapped down. I'm not actually strapped down, but I feel trapped. I feel strapped into the chair. So I just hate that. But no, everything went well. Got there early. So my dentist is a big sports fan, and he's a Chicago guy. He's a Cubs fan, Bears fan. So we talk sports, and it's the ADD in me, I think. But I hate going in and just mouth wide open, people standing over me, digging through my mouth. And I hate that. So at one point, at one appointment, they had like Sports Center on. I'm like, oh, sweet. And I enjoyed it. And I've never asked until now, until yesterday. And I'm like, I'm getting a crown. I expected to be in the chair for over an hour because I am when I get a freaking cleaning. Between combined my root canal and yesterday's temporary crown, I was in the chair less time than I'm in the chair for a standard cleaning. It's like, it takes me less than 2 minutes to brush my damn teeth. Why am I in this dentist chair for an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes, or it's over an hour usually? Anyway, I digress. So I'm like, I'm probably going to be in this chair for a while, and I don't want to just stare at the lights and listen to freaking shitty music. Usually they do ask me what kind of music to listen to. So anyway, we're just kind of hanging out. We're waiting until the numbing agent kicks in, and we're talking sports, and we're getting ready. I looked at Dr. Clark is his name. I looked at Dr. Clark and I said, "You got TV on that computer?" And he kind of looked at me with a quizzical look, like a combination of nobody's ever asked that question before. At the same time, yeah. You what? Yeah, let's watch Sports Center. And then I'm like, wait, do I want my sports fanatic dentist drilling in my mouth while he's paying attention to Vladimir Guerrero signing a $500 million contract? Ooh, maybe that wasn't a wise question to ask. So like, we got Hulu, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I just put something on, just whatever I can watch. They had Hulu Live, so they actually have, so ESPN is on Hulu Live. So I'm watching Sports Center. They're digging around, putting the temporary crown on. So I think I was out, I think by 7:30. Like, I could have gone live yesterday at like what's become my normal time at like 8. Like, I wasn't in, maybe it's because it's a smaller tooth up here. But the numbing agent was like way better than previous. I don't know. Maybe they just did it better than usual. I don't know, but everything about it was smooth. Where usually it's like, oh my God, I hated that. And that's probably why I hate going. Like, half my face is numb. But no, just, it was pretty centralized and it was good. It was pretty quick, and I was out the door, and it was, and I found out it's a lot less. I thought they had quoted me close to $2,000 for between the two appointments. So there's the temporary crown, which is just a little cheapy. I think my temporary crown was about the same as what I pay for a standard cleaning, and I don't have dental insurance. So even when I did have dental insurance, it sucked. Like it didn't cover very much. Anyway, so I thought they had quoted me when I scheduled it last month. I thought they quoted like $2,000, like just like 1,900 something. So I'm like, so my bill yesterday was like $250. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, let me be prepared for, I still have cash in my pocket. Yes, I'm wearing the same jeans. So I'm like, I want to be prepared for the next one, and they're like, oh, it's going to be 1,150, but if you pay cash, there's a 5% discount. So whatever, 5% off 1,100 is. I'm like, oh shit, that's like 1,400. That's the tariffs haven't impacted crowns at the dentist office. That's good. So that was good. Like I was out early. I didn't feel like half my face wasn't numb. It's cheaper. Like that day started all right, and then it fucking snowed. I'm like, what the hell is this bullshit? I looked like a freaking snow globe in my backyard, which is great in December, but not in April 7th. This BS. Anyway, so that was my dentist. Not bad. I go back at the end of the month. I think I have a double whammy. I think my crown, my permanent crown goes on April 30th, and I think May 1st, it might be a couple days later, is my annual doctor's appointment. And I need to, I've been doing pretty well. I weighed myself this morning just to see where I'm at. And I gained a few pounds from where I was in like November, December, which I knew would happen, especially with Christmas, Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then spring training. You got a weekend of Cubs convention. I knew I was going to fall off the wagon with my diet. So, but I'm trying to, and now it's out. I'm getting out. I'm, walking Ernie. So doing a little bit of movement and trying to get back to clean eating. So I want to go into that doctor's appointment with good blood pressure. I haven't tested my blood pressure in a while, and healthy weight and all that stuff. So that'll be a double whammy. But hopefully, hey, if I'm in good health, we don't have to stress about it. What else is going on? So did a lot of shipping when I got back. Ernie went back to doggy daycare. Thank goodness. He was kind of a little rascal on Sunday night because he's been cooped up for a week. And he was fully recovered by like Wednesday or Thursday, but we're like, we're just going to keep him home the whole week. Did I tell you about did I share the grooming story? I don't know if I shared the grooming story. Just a really bizarre. We need to find a new groomer. Ernie did not go to his grooming appointment last week, and not because he was sick. He was better. Anyway, so Ernie was a little rascal Sunday night, kept us up, got up early. Although it was right before my alarm. Like I think he woke up at like 5:40. My alarm was set for 6. So I just ended up getting up a little bit early. So it's like hopefully a full day of doggy daycare will do the trick and he'll sleep through the night. And he did sleep through the night. Good boy, Ernie. They were so excited. Because I wanted to ask if they had grooming. At one point they did at the doggy daycare. They did have a grooming place. So I went in to drop him off and oh my God, Ernie, everybody's so happy to see you. Augie's going to be so happy. Augie's Ernie's girlfriend. So he had a good time. He was playing with Spaz. Spaz is his doggy daycare BFF. I checked in middle of the morning and they were just rambunctious and having a great old time. So did a lot of shipping. I'm in the process of I'm juggling like 8 different things right now. So my eBay sales have been down just because I've been ignoring adding new stuff. I've been doing some stuff And I'm gonna hold off. There are a couple things I'm just gonna hold off on sharing. Um, some of it's related to eBay Live. Um, some of one thing that now is on the back burner was a completely different project. So I'm gonna hold off on that for at this time. And that's kind of the reason why I didn't want to make any big not that it's a big announcement, but any announcement like, hey, this is what's going on, and then this is not going on. So it's gonna happen, just not right now. So I got a new photo box. I've got this damn thing. You know what? I can probably let's here. Let me do the. I wish there was a way, although that was pretty easy. So here's my photo box. Here's my photo box and my bottle of water. So I ended up, so basically this space on my desk was, this was where my printer was. And so over here, there's where my printer is now. So I had this table over, because the wall kind of makes that angle. So I had the table up against the angle. So I'm like, if I move the table over here, maybe I can put my printer. So it worked out perfect. Didn't need any extra cords. And then the shadow box or photo box here is perfect size, like 12 inches. But as you can see, it's like, I don't know, like it's not very conducive to, I mean, it's just like falling apart. There we go. Like falling over. And I never did like the lighting. It always gives off a glare, like not what a photo box should do. It's also cheap, as you can see, it's the cheap little plastic. It works if you get the angles right. I was playing around with it yesterday. I'm like, if I get the angle, if I can get the card at the right angle, there's no reflection. Well, none of the stands I had, they all kind of have an angle back. So that's catching the reflection. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to buy a new shadow box. I want one that's not like cheap plastic that falls and flops over. So I just ordered, I've had this. It's gotten a good workout over the years. So I ordered it and it was delivered like this morning at like 5. I ordered it yesterday afternoon and it was, thank you, Amazon. Gosh, Amazon is amazing. I ordered it yesterday afternoon, was on my doorstep as I took Ernie out to go potty this morning. So I got a new photo box. So I'm preparing my setup for eBay Live when that goes to. I don't know. I don't have a timeline on when eBay Live is eBay Live is active. You can go to eBay Live and watch various sales. They haven't. It's a lot of times you'll see the same few accounts selling, and that's probably going to stay the same for a while as they kick off this new venture where I know they're starting with 5 sellers on Wednesdays for single sales. Again, I don't know when that, I don't know the timeline. I'm hoping May. I'm hoping next month, but I'm not sure. So I've had a couple introductory calls with various people. I think I've got a third call coming up and we'll see where that goes. But I just want to be prepared. I'm preparing inventory. I'm preparing, my setup, how I'm going to film. You know how I love filming. But hey, I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited. So I want to get, a good shadow box that's not just flopping all over the place and it doesn't reflect all kinds of light. So new shadow box arrived this morning. And I'll put that to work at some point today and just kind of test it out. So the only thing I don't like is I've got this wood desk and it's got drawers on the sides, which is great, but it's just it's going to be uncomfortable when I'm to my left and I've got to straddle over here. Anyway. So that's where we're at with that. Along with eBay, I've been doing a lot of cleaning up in the back end, which I'll share more of that in the coming weeks. I did go to the storage unit yesterday. So I haven't looked at the forecast, but I think today is going to be the day when I officially announce my sale this Saturday. What's the weather? I just want to make sure there's no rain in the forecast. It's going to be 57 on Saturday. It was chilly yesterday, but I think it was only like 45 degrees. And I'm like, it was cold. And if it's 45 degrees, I don't want to be hanging out in that storage unit all afternoon in 45 degrees. I'm F that. So right now, 57 on Saturday, 63 on Sunday. So I think I'm just going to say we're going to do it Saturday. Saturday, Superior Storage, my storage unit, will have a dime box bonanza. I also have binders. This latest Goodwill pallet had so many binders. And I went through, when I went over there last week, I was looking through binders, pulling stuff out. That's all I did yesterday was go through binder, and there's still some binders I haven't even looked at yet. So there's some good. So basically the binder sale, and I've got an entire shelf of binders with cards. So some of the binders are the really good baseball card album binders. Some of them are shitty office supply white binders, but everything's going to be $10 each. All binders, $10 each. Sometimes if it's a nice baseball card album, $10 is a decent deal on that. Plus you get pages and cards. If it's a Trapper Keeper or crappy white office binder, there's some good stuff. There's a bunch of 70s football cards in a couple binders, and it's like, I'm not going to take these cards out. So there's some good stuff in the binders. So binders are going to be $10 each. It's basically the 10-10 sale. $10.10. Everything, all single cards are going to be 10 cents. Yes, there's going to be bulk deals. So I'm still going to have a lot of the Goodwill stuff in there. That's not going to be for sale. But it's going to give me something to do as I, sit there and search. So I'm probably going to have like a blanket over that section. So my storage unit, it's basically a rectangle. It's a 30-footer. And so basically the right side, I have tables set up off to take a picture. Or I could just do a quick video because I'll be going over there again either today or tomorrow. So basically you open the door, and to the right, I've got tables with dime boxes. So those are basically what I used to have as quarter boxes, or what I would take to card shows as dime boxes or quarter boxes. So I've got a whole bunch of probably over 100,000 dime boxes set up. I took a couple chairs over. I'm going to take a couple more over this week. To the back, the very back, there's 3 shelving units on the back. One shelving unit is all just like boxes of random cards. It's going to be mostly commons. But if you're a set builder or want to build some sets, there are some boxes that are, 2002 tops, and it's a partial set. The top cards have been taken out. The middle binder or the middle shelf is all binders. And then the far right shelf, it's just a half shelf right now. That's just some random boxes also. And then to the left is where all my Goodwill stuff is that I'll have a blanket over, and I'll be sorting through that and basically just adding to it. That's probably where you're going to get the best deals, because it's like I don't want to take the time to, like, a lot of the binders, I would be pulling cards out. If I was at home sorting this, I would be pulling a lot more cards out. But at the end of the day, it's like 10 cents here, 25 cents here. I'm just going to keep it in a binder and sell it for $10. So that's this Saturday. I'll have more information. I'll have more information here. I'll post the address. I'm going to wait till Friday to post the details on address and everything. But I'll also have it I can post it in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. If you're not joined, check out Hobby Evolution on Facebook. Just type in Hobby Evolution. And then I'll also post it on the Madison Card Show Facebook page as well, and maybe Twitter. I don't want to have like 100 people come and then I'm in trouble with the storage unit people. They're like, yeah, we don't care, but just as long as there's not like a whole bunch of people, it's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. Not that I'm expecting 100 people, but I think if like 5 or 6 people showed up, that'd be, and spent money, that'd be a win. So that's what's going on. Let's go to the chat, and then we're going to talk about the NCAA championship game last night. I didn't have a rooting interest, and it was a freaking awesome game. So we're going to talk about it. We'll take a look at the bracket challenge. We have a winner in the bracket challenge. You win bragging rights. That's all you win. SoCal guys in the house, good morning. Gem City Card Show, what's happening? Good morning. Joakim Noah wins again. Gators win it all, beating Houston last night. David's in the house. Good morning. How you feeling? I feel 100%. I almost said 110%, and that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. When people say, I 1,000% agree with you, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Isn't it weird how we have stupid pet peeves? Like if you have a pet peeve of littering, like that's a legit gripe. That's not even really a pet peeve. That's just like, don't be a dick. Don't litter. But 110%, 200%, 1,000%. I hate it when people say that. I don't know why. It's an irrational opinion I have, apparently. Philly Joe, what's going on? Good morning. Brian's in the house. Offbeat All Stars. Good morning. Zach and Porter says, fingers crossed, Bitcoin hits 80K today. There you go. Double A Cards. Good morning. Gem City says, Bo is evolving to enjoy I didn't say I enjoyed the dentist. But it wasn't as awful as it usually is. Didn't have that on my 2025 bingo card. Hey, it is Hobby Evolution, Doctor Evolution. I wouldn't mind going to the doctor if my blood pressure wasn't always so high. Good morning, Uncle Rich. John says, when are the prizes from the NCAA pool going to be announced and shipped? I've already announced what the prizes are. Bragging rights. And I don't need to ship those. John, quit being an idiot. It was store credit, and that was clear from the start. Your comments aren't helpful or productive to keep things on track. Zach says, grooming story for stray chest hairs poking out one's T-shirt. That is a problem for some. Rascal's in the house. He says, imagine that. Ernie was a rascal, and Rascal is here. Y'all rascals. Where we at? John says, imagine referring to oneself by their nickname in the third person. Gem City says the OnlyFans announcement is still embargoed. Rascal just did. Jesus or Jesus. Imagine it. And it happens, folks. Just like Tony Robbins says. Nice steady cam. I'm getting queasy. Bob's in the house. What's going on, Bob? I thought tall CDP subbers sold their photo boxes. I thought all Card Dealer Pro subbers sold their photo boxes. No, I use my photo box. I wouldn't say frequently, but regularly. Actually, I use it more so for posting on Instagram and Twitter than I do for selling on eBay. Watch the latrine lip. You were getting ready for eBay Live. Will you be offering any digital cards for sale on your eBay Live? No digital cards. Have you chosen your background music for your eBay Live? I have a few suggestions. You're going to get the same background music you get every morning on Hobby Evolution, and that's just my voice. Take it or leave it. No. I hate music in the background. If you have to have music on in the background, it means you're not entertaining enough. Let's hear them. Any Lisa Frank binders. Those are likely worth more than the cards. That's true. That's true. Good morning, TD Sports Cards. How about that Ichiro binder card? So I'm going through the binders, and there was a couple Michael Jordans. There was a couple like cheap dollar relics. What else was in there? There was a binder of basketball, like a lot of like Hall of Famer basketball, which normally I would have just set aside, but there was like 2 or 3 pages of Shaq. Might have been where the Jordan was. So I'm like, I'm not going to cherry pick every single card out of this binder. I'm just going to take. So I brought that binder home. And then there was a binder with there was an Aaron Rodgers. It's a score, one of those score serial numbered cards. So it's probably like a less than $5 card. But it's like serial number to 700 or something. So I pulled, or 500 maybe, I pulled it. But I get to the back of one binder and it's a bunch of 2001 Topps home team advantage cards, which if you're not familiar, home team advantage was a factory set that was sold at select Topps home team advantage card shops back in the early 2000s. I don't know what years they did it. I know 01 was one of the years. I don't know the print run. Hell, they could have, it was 2001, so I can't imagine the print run's too high. But there were a bunch of 2001 Topps home team advantage. And all of a sudden I look, hey, that's an Ichiro rookie card. So an Ichiro home team advantage rookie, it's maybe $75. That's probably what I'll list it for in my eBay store. But hey, $75 find out of a binder from a Goodwill pallet. That's been by far with this pallet. And again, I've looked through the binders. I haven't looked through any boxes yet. So that's by far been the best, pull so far out of the latest Goodwill pallet that I picked up, now a week and a half ago, but I haven't looked through very much of it yet. It's still just sitting in my storage unit. Johnny M says, good morning. Watched a ComC eBay live. They had 833 people in the room. Most cards, while I watched, went for $1 or $2. Are fees the same as store? How about shipping time? Well, I can't speak to ComC, but I can speak to, I can answer a couple of these questions. Are fees the same as store? That I cannot answer for a couple different reasons. Shipping time, well, that'll vary by seller. For me, that'll be the same shipping time as normal. It's going to be 3 business days. ComC, I don't know. I can't speak to any other sellers. But for me, my shipping time will be the same as anything else, any auctions or any buy it nows you purchase from my store. Fees are also going to vary. That's as much as I'll say about that. I've watched quite a few eBay lives in the last 2 weeks, just to get a feel. For the most part, cards are selling for more than I would expect. I bought one card. I got a great deal on it. But everything else went for a lot higher than I would have paid. I was watching some basketball lives a week ago, and there were cards that I would put in my eBay store for $1.75 free shipping that were selling for $10 to $15. And they probably had less than 800 people watching. But quite a few. I mean, several hundred. I don't know if they had 800 in the room, but you can have success on live selling platforms with 20 people watching. So 800 just gives you a better audience. So I'm stoked. I'm excited. Obviously, with anything, there's going to be cards that sell for less than you hope, and there's going to be cards that sell for higher than you expected. So that's just how auctions roll, whether it's live selling or static 7-day, 10-day, 5-day auctions. Cooter says, good morning. I am offended. My collection lives in crappy office supply binders. I have this ultimate tug of war with myself regarding not only binders, but what binders I should use. And with the Goodwill pallets, I acquire so many baseball card albums. Like I can go to my storage unit I've got last summer, I bought all those binders that included the 55 Topps partial set and a bunch of junk along with it. Probably 75 binders, good binders. But it's like, okay, baseball card album in blue? What do I have the most of? Like if it's black, blue, red, what do I pick? Do I go with? I've still got a couple that when Costco has them on sale, I'll get like the 4-ring binders from Costco that are still like in the plastic wrap because I haven't used them. But I'm also in that, do I even want to do binders? And I have this inner fight with myself. What am I going to put in bind? Ernie Banks, whatever. So I have this inner struggle. And basically by the time I decide, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all these collections in binders, I'm going to have sold all of the binders that I have in my storage unit. Unicorn Cupcake says, is that dirt on your right shoulder? Have you been changing your own oil? Right shoulder. This is my right shoulder. I don't see any dirt. What dirt are you looking at? I don't know. I don't see any dirt. Found treasures in the house. Sorry, it's still early here. My typing will be getting better by hour 3 of the show. I've got to cut it. I've got to cut it by 8, probably 8:25. I was just informed this morning by a sleepy wife. He's like, oh, Brunky's coming. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? She's like, Brunky's coming at 8:30. I'm like, who the hell's Brunky? And what's Brunky coming over for at 8:30 for? The glass people. I'm getting glass installed in my tub in the basement bathroom. I'm like, oh, like I wouldn't have laid in bed for 20 minutes scrolling Twitter. Holmes in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Red lights here. Good morning. Zach says, not a rookie. The rookie card is the base card of the set. What you have is a variation not sold in packs and therefore not a rookie. Where is Victor? I bet Victor's here. I bet he's here. AA card says eBay auctions not live. Do you get your insertion fee back if the item sells? On eBay, on standard eBay auctions, yes. So if you I have 500 monthly auctions on eBay, and I usually go over that amount within the first week of the month. So if I have 10 auctions that I had to pay a 15-cent insertion fee for, $1.50, as those items list at auction, say I list them right now. I have 10. I've already used my 500. Now I'm over. I'm going to list 10 cards sitting next to me. I'm paying, as I list them, I'm paying right now, I'm paying 15 cents listing fee per auction. If they close and sell, so a week from today, if all 10 of those sell, I get 15-cent refund, 15-cent refund, 15 cents. So I get my $1.50 back. The auctions that don't sell, you do not get your insertion fee back. So it drives you to list sellable items, which I think that's what eBay wants. That's what most selling platforms, they don't care if you have 50,000, 60,000 listings. They care that you have 50 or 60,000 listings that will sell. And I do have a lot of stuff that's probably not going to sell. And I'm sure a lot of us do. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes there'll be stuff I never thought that would sell and it sells. So, but as I get, I think I'm down to like 54,000 items in my store. The only thing I'm not sure, and this is like the third call that I'll have. I think this is addressed in the third call. Because each level, like each phone call you have, each Zoom call you have that I've been having tackles like different things, like blah, blah, blah. So I think my next call might tackle more of these type of like, okay, eBay Live, is it going to be the same as auctions? My biggest question is, do the eBay Lives count against my auction, or is this completely separate? Since it's kind of I don't know. But yes, you do get your. Long story short, yes, you do get your insertion fee back if the item sells at regular auction. John says, a man who doesn't like to set up at shows will not enjoy the non-passive effort it takes to do eBay live sales. I love setting up at shows. Not all shows, but I do enjoy setting up at shows. How was the dentist? It was great. Surprisingly, actually, it went well. Johnny M says, I've noticed an increase in lots for sale at good prices on Facebook Marketplace. I think you'll probably start seeing more and more of that. And I think Cooter will probably echo that. Actually, Cooter's the one that's been saying it all along. Bought 2 last week. I'm working on 2 more currently. Dealers seem more willing to negotiate. That's a surprise. Not. Red Light says, why did they split my last order I got from you? It could be the business policies I did not update on my end. I still haven't figured out how to set up the business policies to match from Car Dealer Pro to eBay. So basically just after like a couple months, I'm like, oh, I should probably go consolidate everything, which you can do business. So if you go into your eBay summary and then go to account and then go into business policies, which is under the selling header. Oh, this is a little different. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like my flat fee. Looks like I've got 4,561 under my shipping that I want to. Yeah, I do want to change this. I want to change this to. Oh man, they changed. So now it used to be super easy. Now I've got to go in and. Yeah, eBay changed the policy tab. Well, I don't know how to switch these over now. I wonder if I do this. Reassign listings. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm just dumb. All right. So flat. What flat 3? So is that this one? Oh, standard. But isn't that what? Flat eBay standard, flat standard shipping, eBay standard. Okay. Standard. That's what I want. All right. I don't know. We'll see if that works. I don't like the way they changed it. Good morning, Michael Renicky. What's happening? Tiger727 in the house. Good morning. Victor says, well said, spoken with such authority. He's in response to Zach's comment about the Ichiro home team advantage, non-rookie card. Do I get my entry fee back if my NCAA bracket didn't win? Hey, what's up, Peter? Cooter says, I would have taken you on a team binder journey when you were here, but all you wanted to do was go to local card shops, card shows, drink beer, and eat barbecue. Maybe next time. Hey, that was a lot of fun. In other words, the perfect weekend. Amen to that. Found Treasure says, I think live auctions often bring higher prices because it's more exciting for the buyer. From what I've seen, especially similar items that I sell at regular 7-day standard auctions compared to what I see selling on eBay Live. Yeah, I'm excited about live selling. Red Light says, okay, just did not want you to lose money. So I lost 30 cents, but it's my own doing because I don't go in there and change those policies enough. John says, just read a TCDB thread where it says Car Dealer Pro is stealing images from that site. War is coming. Choose your side, folks. Dun, dun, dun. Interesting. I want to read that thread. I found out last night after winning an auction that some sellers have auto pay an hour after the auction is won. I don't think that's sellers. I think that's on the buyers. Because in my settings, I have auto pay unclicked. And that's another thing that I don't like is there's this between buyers paying setups and sellers payment setup. There's like this clash. So yeah, that's a completely different rabbit hole. And I think we've got our glass people here. Found treasures. I believe that is an option you can control when you put your bid in. Yes. Thank you, Zach. Bo educated me on that once because I couldn't get combined shipping. Yes. So that's on the buyer's end. There's the link. All right. So national championship real quick. Florida beats Houston. What a game. That was a classic college. I'm going to shut the door. A classic college basketball game. Fairly clean, although Houston did commit some turnovers down the stretch. I didn't pay too much attention in the first half, but in the second half, I'm like, man, this is a good game back and forth. Florida only led for like 40 seconds of the game and then ended up winning by a point. The last possession, absolutely heartbreaking. Houston, with 10 seconds left, down by a point. They have a chance at one last shot, and they didn't even get a shot off. It was turned the ball over. They would have turned it over, well, unless Houston somehow would have saved the ball. There was nobody close enough. If the guy that had possession would have regained possession, it would have been a double dribble and a turnover. So he didn't, and Florida was able to swipe the ball. Just heartbreaking finish for the Houston Cougars. I think about Kelvin Sampson, and he's had, I think as people get older, we like forgive their past sins. And I think people have forgiven Kelvin Sampson for his previous indiscretions at Oklahoma and Indiana, because now he's almost 70 years old. It's like, he's just an old man now. But it's like, I think about Kelvin Sampson's coaching journey and being a coach for 40 years. And he has been the ultimate grinder. And I think I love that. I absolutely love that. Not somebody that was a superstar in high school and college and went to the NBA, or was just a great player that went into coaching, or was born on third base with a silver spoon. Like Kelvin Sampson worked for everything from Pembroke, North Carolina, started his coaching career in Butte, Montana at Montana Tech. And it's like, I think about that. Like, here's a guy who started his coaching career in Butte, Montana, which I think that's going to be like an example I use. I usually use like Boise, Idaho, because it's something I read in a book one time. But he starts his coaching career in Butte, Montana, Montana Tech, back in the early 80s. And here he is on the biggest stage. I think I hear Ernie. Here he is on the biggest stage, the NCAA National Championship game. He's no spring chicken. He's 69 years old. And then to lose on a possession like that. Oh, heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Bracket challenge winner, Eric. Eric wins the bracket challenge. Let's share the screen. He correctly, I think more than 9 people. The top 9 correctly guessed the Florida Gators to win the tournament. Eric wins with 147 points. Ernie's being a little rascal again. Brian finished in second with 143. Tracy in third with 142. Jason with 140. Bucky Bob had 135 points. He finished in fifth. Joe in sixth. Cameron in seventh. Robert in eighth. Dennis, who correctly predicted the first 25 games in the first round and only missed one game in the first round, 31 out of 32 correct. Dennis, 9th place. He correctly got Florida. How about that? That's how crazy these bracket challenges are. You can go 31 out of 32 correct in the first round and correctly predict the national championship winner and still finish in 9th place. That's how crazy bracket challenges are. And how about Steve? Heartbreaking for Steve. He was the only person out of 37 brackets to incorrectly predict Houston winning it. If Houston would have won, obviously Steve would have won the bracket challenge. He finishes in 10th. A lot of people picked Florida. Tim finished in 11th. He picked Florida. So did Chris and Tim. Let's see. Who's bringing up the rear? Sheena, last place. 43 points. Wah, wah. Andy, second to last. Nate, third from last. And me, fourth to last. So there you go. Low roller scratcher. I think in the Elite Eight, he was in first place, and he finishes in 29th. So there you go. For bragging rights, Eric has the bragging rights for the year. The Florida Gators, your national champions. John says you should have to pay immediately upon winning. I highly disagree with that. Highly disagree with that. Because if you pay immediately upon winning, now you have like 17 different transactions. And as a seller, I don't like 17 times 30. Plus having to mark everything off as shipped is a giant pain in the ass. So no, I do not want immediate pay upon winning. Orlando, good morning. Zach says, I agree, but then you can't combine shipping. There you go. It should be the same day for that reason and not immediately. And I agree. And yeah, you can't combine shipping on immediate pay either. Payment upon completion. eBay should make post-payment arrangements. Too many Mormons bid on auctions and don't pay when winning. Oh, Mormons or morons? Too many Mormons. Those damn Mormons keep bidding and not paying on my auctions. Maybe he means morons. Or maybe he does mean Mormons. I don't know. Gem City Card Show. Hey, Victor, can we get an expert to explain how to define rookie cards for Disney character cards, superheroes, etc.? I'm struggling with applying the appropriate guideline. Found treasures to John. I wanted combined shipping, but didn't get the chance because it went to auto pay. I've won many auctions before and never had this auto pay thing happen. And I've had people reach out, like I've ran in the last 6 months, thousands of auctions. And every once in a while, I'll get somebody, hey, can you combine shipping? It made me auto pay. And it's not a setting on my end. But it's happened. It happened to Zach. I think it happened to Scott. It happened to a couple others. But for the most part, I haven't had that issue, but it has happened. John says, winning an auction and not paying is about the worst thing you can do. Close that loophole and then work on the other first world problems. America, home of the I wanna species. Zach says, you can't be expected to nail your daughter out of jail and pay for an auction. That is why winning the store credit for the bracket was a huge get for any buyer. Victor is going to answer Gem City's question. I don't know much about Disney. I'll look into it. If there's any meat there, I'll make a video on it. There you go. John says, my Disney sugar daddy cards are rookies, according to me. Grinder, but rule breaker plenty of times. Perhaps too much grinding. Absolutely. Gem City, Max is in the house. Gem City says, thanks, Victor. John says, I wrote RC on them in the upper right corner to confirm. That's a good way to do it. Mornons is a support group for people addicted to polygamy. There you go. Addicted to Polygamy was my Christian rock band name. Zach's typos are better than mine. Tough to cheer for a guy like that. And that's kind of where I'm like, because I made a comment on Twitter, and I think that's why I thought about it. I made a comment like, it's Houston versus Duke in the Final Four. It's Kelvin Sampson versus Duke. It's like heel versus heel. Everybody hates Duke. Everybody hates Kelvin Sampson. And somebody commented, well, he's really turned his whatever around. And it's like, yeah, but he cheated a lot. It's not like he made one oopsie. Like, he got into a lot of trouble back in the day. It's like, I guess time does heal most wounds. Because everybody's like, oh, it's the Kelvin Sampson story. And plus, like, I didn't like his tone in the press conference last week when he like corrects the reporter for saying Gonzaga. And he like interrupts him, Gonzaga. It's like, come on, don't be a dick. Like, that's a dick move. But I appreciate the grinding aspect of his career. I didn't want to root for him, but I do appreciate the grinding part. I don't appreciate the cheating part, though. If I find more than one card I like from an eBay seller, I will only bid if they confirm they will combine shipping. And that's smart, because if you don't confirm and they don't have it in writing, and then you're mad after they charge you $17 for shipping 4 cards, it's like, well, did you ask? Was it stated in the description? Just because you think it should be combined doesn't mean it actually, like, well, you bid on, like, your bid is binding. Like, you agreed to their terms. Is it right for them to do that? No, but you agreed to it. Like, you were fully accepting. It's like 3-day handling time. Like, I need you to ship this today. Well, my terms are 3 business days, and it's probably not going to ship today. Unless you want to come in and buy like 300 cards and make it worth my while. If it's an $8 order, I'm sorry, it's going to ship within 3 business days. And buyers agree to that. Congrats to Jeff Wilson. He finally backed a winner. There you go. JG says, Kelvin is a dick. Always has been shady. Yeah, the whole Gonzaga thing really rubbed me the wrong way. Tracy says, I hate the auto pay within 1 hour and have not bought a card from a seller, waited to buy elsewhere because of it. I get why it is used, but hurts those of us that always pay and like to buy multiples. And again, I don't think that's on the seller. I think that's a setting within the buyers. Go into your settings, because I think you can change that. Actually, is Zach still here? Because I think Zach had this issue. And I think he was able to figure it out. Because I didn't make any changes on my end. Gem City says, Jeff Wilson backing Joe Hollywood. He's on a winning streak now. Apologies for my stance on eBay payment. I'm not out there bukkake bidding on auctions. I usually just buy a card at a time. And I get it from that standpoint. And I do agree, like, especially when it's a hot card that is prone to shill bidding. Like, I want that payment, because it really puts the seller at a disadvantage on if you're talking like a new release product. Like, you can lose Jason Dominguez. What was the Bowman anime? I lost 100. Well, that was a return, so I was going to lose that either way as the price dropped with that particular buyer. And that was a completely different. That was just a return, not a. But in a case like that, say they bid it up to $300 and didn't pay. I have to wait 4 days before I can relist it. In 4 days, that's eternity when it comes to new releases and trying to get the most bang for your buck at release. Zach says, I've done nothing with it because I only do that practice with you. Bradley says, many shady coaches in college basketball, Patino, Calipari, Huggins, their schools get placed on probation by NCAA and recruiting violations and then leave. Most coaches have done shady shit. Most coaches in college basketball. I think I've shared this story. One of when I worked at the university in college basketball, one of the assistant coaches, we were having a conversation, and he just started naming coaches like, they cheat, they cheat, they cheat. Very few non-cheaters. Very few non-cheaters. All right. I got to go. I think the glass guy's already here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. New inventory has been added. Buy 7 or more items at regular price. Save 25% off at checkout, 99centcards.com. That's all for now. Have a great day. Hang on. Found Treasures has a comment. This is an important one. I'm in settings now, if anybody can help. I think it may be on seller's side, though. I won 2 cards last night combined, cost $42 and now paying $12 in shipping. It is not on the seller's side, because only a couple buyers on my auctions have had this issue. 98% have been okay. 2% have had this issue. Let me go into, I'm already over here. I am in my settings. All right. Account selling. Where are your buying set? I can't find my buyer settings. All right, personal info. Not going to be there. Payment information. Account preferences. All right, let's just check out payments. I hate where it has me re-log in. Like I'm already logged in. Skip for now. All right. Now this is just my. Oh, here we go. Buying preferences. No, this isn't auctions and offers. No, this is just payments. Account preferences, permissions, communication, and advertisement. Let's go into help and contact. All right, so let's see. How can I? All right, I'm going to type in, how can I set up combined payment as a buyer? You can send an invoice. That's not on the buyer side. How immediate payment works. That's probably what we need. Let's see. How to create a listing. Well, this is not helpful at all. We're going to thumbs down this. Let's just, all right. So multi-quantity listing, setting buyer requirements. Let's check this out. Are you looking to resolve an issue? No. Let's see. Blocking, exclude shipping locations. This is. Does anybody have any idea where this can be found? Because I know it's not a setting on the buyer side. Let's see. Let's go into my eBay. Bids and offers, purchase history, selling, save feed. All right, let's go back into the summary page. Who else is that? Scott has had this. Scott Hermanson had this issue. And I think I bet it was Scott that figured it out. But it was Scott that figured this out, not Zach. All right. Let's see. Activity. Because this is good. This is a good lesson for me, just so I can, if it happens again, I know. But I don't even see any buyer preferences in my account. I've got payment information. Feedback, address, assigned, security, public business, business info. That's none of that. We already looked in payment. Let's go to, I guess, account preferences. Let's just look into permissions. Nope, that's completely different. This is just advertising. So this has nothing to do. Donations, it doesn't have anything to do with donations. Huh. I mean, the only thing it would be under is payments. All right, I'm going to go to the chat. This is all just payment information. Manage your checkout. I think this is where I was just at. No, that's not it. I have no idea. I have no idea. But the reason I can tell you it's somewhere in a buyer setting, because I have multiple people that buy from my auctions that are able to wait and pay like 24, 36, 48 hours. And then I send an invoice. I send an invoice and then they pay. And sometimes I'll get like a notice where it says this buyer has chosen to continue shopping. Maybe it's on the bid. Maybe it's when you place the bid. I can't find any buyer settings in my I don't buy much, so I'm not really tooling around with it, but no idea. I wonder I'm going to check one last place. I'm going to see if Scott messaged me about this. Scott's on the West Coast, so he might still be snoozing. All right, where are we at? I'm going to look to see messages. Scott. That's not it. All right, so here it was. Yeah, so this is so we had a whole back and forth conversation on this. Yeah, so it happened to Scott, and it ended up auto paying. But he figured it out because now this was back in like November. All right. All right. All right. He paid manually. Let's see. Well, maybe. No, that's not it. This is overtime, so. All right. No. Maybe he messaged me elsewhere. I don't know. John says, I guess if your eBay buying strategy is tied to combined shipping, then this is an issue. Just like if your selling strategy is reliant on combined shipping. I am at peace buying the cards I want. If I get combined shipping, then it's a bonus, same as if I sell. Someone went to college in order to master the art of finding advantageous eBay buyer settings extremely difficult. I Googled it last night and said it's a setting sellers can turn off, but I don't know. So I have turned it off. So yes, there is a setting for immediate payment on the seller end where you can turn that off. But on the buyer end, there's also a setting, and I can't remember who shared that information, and now I can't even find it. Because the reason I know this is my immediate payment is turned off. So that should allow me to just send invoices. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay ever. It'll just cancel after 4 days. But some people, there's like a note that says these people continue. And then sometimes, every once in a while, somebody gets charged or whatever, and I think it's on their end. So I don't know. Maybe reach out to eBay support, and they probably won't have an answer for you either. But it's worth a shot. They might know more, but never happened to be before, so I don't know how my settings would have changed from the last time I won an auction. So this sounds like it's probably a case of the seller setting was set to immediate payment required. If you haven't had this issue before, and then I don't know. It's a pain in the ass. This is why free shipping is the best way to go. But I don't want to. I'll sell 99-cent cards at Buy It Now just to blow stuff out, but I'm not going to take the risk of selling a Julio Rodriguez rookie for 99-cent free shipping. So I want to get at least $1.98 out of it. All right. So sorry we couldn't help. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Hey, in the Buy It Now section, everything's free shipping. So check it out. John says, would you rather eBay fix this issue or the issue of buyers being responsible for refunds after the items are in the USPS system? I don't know. I don't know. Would you rather eBay fix this issue? I would like them to fix this issue, or the issue of buyers being responsible for refunds after the items are in the USPS system. I would rather eBay fix this issue, because ultimately refunds are on the seller. Like if it doesn't, just because it's in the hands of the USPS doesn't just give the seller, it's not on the buyer. The buyer shouldn't be responsible. If you didn't get a card because of the USPS, it shouldn't be the buyer's responsibility. It's on the seller. And that's what the insurance is for on ESE. When you get your money back. When I filed my claims through Ground Advantage and ESE on missing packages, I think it ended up being totaling around $150. And I only got like $48, $49 out of it. They denied my Ground Advantage claim, and they denied half of my ESE claims. I mean, sellers being responsible. Shouldn't have to PIP once USPS has the item in their system. Shouldn't be on the seller to PIP. Not my problem either. But it is. It is your problem as the seller. Like that's how it works. That's just how it is. That's what happens when you're dealing with third parties. It is your responsibility. Think about shipping. Now in transportation, it's a little different based on how the contracts work. Usually it's on when I worked in third party. So in third party logistics, typically it was our responsibility. And it shouldn't be. It's like, well, the driver didn't get there on time and we killed production. So it depends on how the contracts are played out. Usually once it's on the truck, it is no longer the shipper's responsibility. It has now become the property of the buyer, the end user. Like once it's properly, correctly loaded, the seller, I guess in this instance, is no longer responsible. It's on the buyer. But obviously when you're working with multiple third parties, it becomes a little tricky, and usually the third party company gets fucked in the ass on that shit. And that's why I'm in my basement selling baseball cards. Johnny says, why did they deny your PIP claims? I don't know. Never had that happen. Yeah, I had 12 of 24 denied. They don't give you a reason. They don't give you when you file the claim, you get your money back if they go through correctly. If they are denied, they just don't give you the money and don't give you a reason. So I don't know. And I'm not going to spend any more time on it because I spent enough time trying to get that $48, whatever the price was. It's like, all right, screw it. I don't want to screw with it anymore. John says, now it's fourth parties when PIP is involved. You're just a party guy. Please add eBay apologist to your LinkedIn. Cheers. Whoa, eBay Live Prep just got thrown away with that terrible comment. Yep. Sorry, my bad. All right, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. 99centcards.com. See you tomorrow.